Welcome to Kimso Online Group Bookings. Now we will discuss setting up and managing Kimso's online group bookings for your establishment and how to manage your users, for example tour operators that will book out your property on your behalf. The first action in the setup process will be for the Kimso operations team contacting and communicating the username and password to the hotel, the resort, or the head office. This password is typically provided to the responsible person managing your company's reservations. In most cases, this will be the reservations manager. The second step in the setup process now belongs to the reservation manager, who needs to decide who the companies are for whom the hotel would like to use as tour operators or agents making bookings on the hotel's Kimso online group booking system. After the companies has been identified, the reservation manager would have received his own username and password from Kimso, meaning he can now log on to the Kimso online group booking system. So let's get yourself and the hotel reservation manager familiar with their Kimso online group bookings login and the screens that will be available to him. The hotel reservation manager will receive a URL in an email or can go to the hotel's Kimso web online bookings page. In this case, we are using the Imperial Palaces Hotel's Kimso web interface, and towards the bottom right of the screen there is a group booking selection which you need to click on to log on to the Kimso online group bookings page. This will bring you to a login screen where the reservations manager needs to enter their email address as well as the password provided by Kimso. After logging in, the hotel reservation manager will see this screen. The screen consists of an availability tab, a group details tab, and an administration tab at the top. Let's start at the availability tab. And this tab displays the hotel's availability, and under this tab you will find the go to date field, allowing you to choose any date in the past or in the future to see availability. To easily get back to the current date, click on the Today button next to the date field. Below the go to date field is a column displaying accommodation. And this is where your hotel property will be listed, and in our example we list the Imperial Palace Hotel. If you have multiple properties, the properties will be listed underneath Imperial Palace. The next column displays the unit types, which in this case is square double and square twin, as well as the amount of units for each that can be booked if all was available. To the right of the units are the largest column that indicates the month at the top of the column, followed by the days and the dates. Underneath each day and date you will see the number indicating the availability of the unit type for that specific day and date. If we look at Monday the 20th, we see that the hotel have 7 square double rooms available and 3 square twin rooms available. To the right you will find a handy help button. When selecting the help button, you will get tips on how to navigate. For instance, the method to select a room is to left click and drag over the blocks you want to select, while shift and left click will remove what you have selected. Another method to remove selected rooms will be to use Control and left click, which will deselect the rooms. In addition, the help menu provides a color key to the rooms on the grid. For instance, dark green means fully available, while blue means less than 80% available, and red means no rooms are available. You can also access a PDF help file with more detailed instructions, and if required, you can print this file. The next tab that we will look at is the Group Details tab. The information on this tab will display to the reservation manager what group bookings have been made by the tour operators with detail on each group. To display the groups, make sure to select Show All Groups and Past Groups if required. In the left columns, the reservation manager will see the start date for each of the group bookings made as well as the group name it was booked under. If we click on group booking GRP 0002, we will see the group bookings detail for the group's itinerary from day 1 up to day 10. By clicking on Switch View, you will see additional information that might be available of the group, such as first and last name, email, telephone number, number of children, status. Also, the print email button allows you to print, save and email the itinerary if needed. The last tab for the reservation manager to be aware of on the Kimso Online Group Booking screen is the Administration tab, which is a very important tab because this is where the hotel reservation manager can add users for their own central reservation office. And they can be added on the screen when clicking on the Add Users button. The screen also displays tour operator companies that can make group bookings on Kimso Online Group Bookings portal, which will be visible in the Group Bookings column with a marked X. In the same column, you will see tour operator companies that does not have group booking access, so that the hotel central reservation office can make bookings on their behalf. These tour operator companies will not have an X mark against them in the group bookings column. The decision if a tour operator needs to have online group bookings access or not will have to be decided by the hotel reservations manager. It is important to realize that unlike the hotel's central reservation office users that can be added directly on the screen, the tour operators on the right can and should only be added to the system through Innkeeper. We will cover this later in the section. Now that we know the layout of the reservation manager screen, the next step is to see how the hotel can create users for their central reservation office or CRO. Under the Administration tab, the Hotel Manager will see two columns. The first is the User column, where our Hotel Reservations Manager can create a CRO user. Keep in mind that the CRO agent will use Kimso Online Group Bookings to make group bookings only. Kimso Online Group Bookings is not for single individual bookings or for FIT, fully independent traveler bookings. You will see there is already a CRO user registered. She will make bookings under ID 20601 under the name Janet James. Remember that when the hotel CRO user is created by the hotel reservation manager, the CRO user will now be able to log onto Kimso Online Group Bookings to make group bookings on the system, irrespective of where in the world the central reservation office is situated. To create a new CRO user, the hotel manager will select Add Users. This will open an information window that needs to be completed. After the information window has been completed and filled in, you can click on Save. And your new user has now been created with an ID of 21633. You can now provide Donna with a password and she will be able to log on to the system to make group bookings for the hotel together with Janet. The CRO users are created, but now the reservation manager needs to give access to our preferred tour operators who needs to make bookings on the hotel's Kimso Online Group Booking site. We have mentioned it earlier that we have tour operators that will have Kimso Online Group Bookings access to make bookings, and then we will have tour operators that will not have Kimso Online Group Bookings access, but they will make group bookings calling or contacting the hotel's CRO agents that we have just created on the system. But first, we need to create the tour operator, and to do that we will use Innkeeper. So let's go to our Innkeeper screen. We are now on the Innkeeper screen. It is a tour operator that does not yet exist on our system, so you will need to create it, and to create it, you will follow the usual process to add a client record in InKeeper. Step 1 will be to click on Add New Client. When the Create a New Client window appears, you can fill in the tour operator company's detail, which includes the surname, the first name, company name, contact details, and then you can create a new client. This will then in turn create BB Tours on the system, but we will need to identify and link BB Tours as a tour operator. And to do this, we need to click on Links on the top bar. This will open the Client Links screen. And you need to select at the top left the Make Client Available Online button. A confirmation message will then appear to ask if the client should be made available as an online group user. At this stage, it is very important for the reservation manager to ask him or herself if this tour operator needs Kimso Online Group Booking access or not. If you want to give the tour operator Kimso Online Group Booking access, you need to select Yes. And if you do not want to give the tour operator access, you need to select No. For our example, we will select Yes. Another confirmation message will then appear to ask if the client should be marked for upload via Kimso's online res, and if you wish for the client to be notified by email. You need to follow the same process as previously, asking the question if this tour operator needs Kimso Online Group Bookings access or not. If you want to give the tour operator access, you need to select correct Yes. And if you do not want to give the tour operator access, you need to select correct again No. For our example, we will select Yes to create the tour operator with group bookings access. We can now close the client link screen, and BB Tours are now linked as a tour operator with access to Kimso Online Group Bookings. But let's go back to our online booking screen to confirm this. We are now back on the Kimso Online Group Bookings page. If the reservation manager logs back into Kimso Online Group Bookings Administration tab, he will see under the Clients column that Betty Borders' company BB Tours have been loaded under Clients, and that she will be able to access group bookings. And this is marked with an X under the Group Bookings Access column. Congratulations, you have now learned to create a user for the hotel CRO, as well as a tour operator that can access Kimso Online Group Bookings and make group bookings that will update InKeeper. So, to summarize, Kimso sent the password to the reservations manager at the hotel. The reservation manager was now able to create their own CRO users and to make group bookings. The reservation manager also created tour operator companies that can make online group bookings. The next step is to help the tour operators create more users under them to help them scale in making more group bookings for the hotel group or the resorts. Keep in mind, it is about increasing the occupancy for the hotel and increasing business for the tour operators.